my true identity is not something that will exist in a vacuum. It's not something that is only true for me. It's not something that is disconnected from the Creator and from all of His creation. You begin to realize that actually everything is created, and you are a part of a much bigger, much more beautiful, infinite whole. And so therefore, the purpose, the actual purpose of life, in my opinion, is to really get to know and understand God. And I think that an unexamined life is really a wasteful life. It's a wasted life. We came here for a purpose. Of course, we were created for a purpose. And after being in this field of self-study and self-analysis and self-development for almost 2 decades, I can tell you that ultimately, if you want to get to the final answer, ultimately we need to look at the Quran. We need to look at Islam and find out, what does God say, who actually created us for a purpose? What does God tell us that the purpose is? And what He tells us is that He created us for the sole purpose of understanding and knowing Him. Marfat, this is what's called marfat, that understand me. And I believe that that truly is the most exalted purpose that a human being can have. Frankly speaking, when we study our life and we look at the different stages that we go through as human beings, ultimately we all get to the point where we are really trying to find, who am I really? Like, for example, in the beginning, when we're really young, we're told by the society, by our parents, by our culture, that our purpose is to get good grades, get a nice degree, get a good career, maybe find the right spouse, have a good marriage, have children, raise them well, have a place in society so that people recognize you, and that's purpose. And a lot of people don't question that their whole entire lives. If you're a youngster, if you're in the youth, you're still in your 20s and 30s, and you're beginning to question, congratulations, that's really good. Because people that come to me typically that are facing this dilemma are usually in their 40s, and this is what's called your midlife crisis, because the things that you thought were your purpose, that you were supposed to accomplish and achieve, either you achieved them and you actually felt very dejected and a sense of emptiness inside of you, and it did not give you the fulfillment that you were expecting to get, and that's when you go through a midlife crisis, because it's an identity crisis. What am I here for? Is this all that life is about? Is this it? And that deep sense of unfulfillment, that deep sense of emptiness inside of us really makes us question everything after that. And that's a very beautiful stage. That's really good, because what that stage is showing us is that we were living a lie. We were fed an illusion, and we were given a set of circumstances which were really glorified, that if you achieve this, then you are someone wonderful. And so when we get to that stage and we realize this really isn't cutting it for me, then we start questioning the deeper meaning of life. And we start going through a journey, which is the journey of self-discovery. And we start finding out who we really are. Why were we created? And when we get to the stage after that is when we begin to realize, when we self-realize, we begin to God realize. So we begin to realize that my true identity is not something that will exist in a vacuum. It's not something that is only true for me. It's not something that is disconnected from the Creator and from all of His creation. You begin to realize that actually everything is created, and you are a part of a much bigger, much more beautiful, infinite whole. And so therefore, the purpose, the actual purpose of life, in my opinion, is to really get to know and understand God, and then create a very beautiful and deep connection with Him, which will not only fulfill this self, the higher self, which is also called the ruh. It will fulfill that, and on that journey, as you continue to fulfill your ruh, you will continue to escalate higher and higher on this ladder of consciousness as you get to know God. Now, in this journey, it doesn't mean that I'm saying that you should, go up and go go meditate high up in the mountains and you try to find God. No, you find God in everything that you do. That's the beauty of it. If you really become focused on God, if you open that inner eye that is always searching for that meaning, for that connection, you're always looking for God in everything, you will find that you will be able to find those connections in everything. The things that you have done for years in your life suddenly will have a very different meaning, because you're now looking at it from a very different lens. And so yes, you could be a family man doing regular stuff that you're supposed to do, taking care of your family, earning money, and doing the things that you were doing before, or as a housewife, you're still doing the same things. But now the way you look at it has completely changed. And therefore you will begin to find your purpose more and more and more until you actually get to a level of consciousness where it is no longer a question, it is a sense of knowing. And please remember, purpose is not a destination that we get to. That if I find my purpose, then I am going to do this and this. Purpose is really a state of living. You get to live your purpose. And how do you know that you're living your purpose? The level of satisfaction that you are going to be able to attain in doing regular things in life, knowing really strongly that this is what my Creator intends for me to do right now. And purpose may change, it may evolve over time, but you're always going to feel that connection because you're living that purpose as it grows and unfolds within you, and it starts to express itself throughout your life.